And none have ever oozed so much... excuse me. And none have ever oozed so much charm as Afraid of Monsters, the spiritual successor, predecessor. That's a word I struggle with. And none have oozed so much... And none have ever oozed so much charm as Afraid of Monsters, the spiritual predecessor to the... spiritual predecessor. The spiritual predecessor. Spiritual predecessor. Precursor. Precursor is an easier word. And none have ever oozed so much charm as Afraid of Monsters. And none have ever oozed so much charm as Afraid of Monsters, the spiritual precursor to Steam? What? And none have ever oozed so much charm as Afraid of Monsters. The spiritual precursor to Team Saiskalar's Cry of Fear. The spiritual predecessor to... The spiritual predecessor to... It's such a... Rosie, no. Rosie, no. I'm gonna have to kick you out. I'm sorry. Sorry, sweetheart. Okay. The spiritual precursor to the spiritual precursor to Cry of Fear. The spiritual predecessor to... It's such a hard word. The spiritual predecessor to Cry of Fear. The spiritual predecessor to... Oh, it's such a... I can't say the word predecessor and not have a beat afterwards. The spiritual precursor to Cry of Fear. The spiritual precursor to Cry of Fear.